Breaking Ground! It's that time of the week and I'm glad you tuned in. It's time for storytelling, stories told in a cube ring. Yeah, we breaking ground, that's just sort of our thing. Making stars out of cars, all trying to get the pin. Body slams and suplex, don't get hit with a super kick. Putting the chops to the chest, anything for the win. Yeah, this is HKW, so stick around while we break ground. It's what I would do. This is breaking ground, this is breaking ground. 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 This is breaking ground. Well, this is it. Premiere night, first show. Been a pro wrestling fan since I was 6. Now here I am, walking to the ring as the proud owner of Have Nots Wrestling on a show I produce called Breaking Ground. But what a life. I chose that name because just like I'm breaking ground into the business, so are all the competitors that I was able to get to compete in HKW. Together, we're going to build this organization from the ground up, and it starts tonight. Wow, I'm blown away by how packed our little studio is. You know, this place fits about 1,200 people, and as I look around, man, it looks like we're at full capacity, baby. I could tell some people recognize me from the flyer and social media promos, but the majority were just good old-fashioned pro wrestling fans that wanted to come see a good show. And that's definitely what I had in mind and in store for them tonight. I introduced myself to the audience and thanked them for packing the house. Then I explained that with my leadership and vision, I was moving pro wrestling into the future. And I would be starting with the term pro wrestling. There is so much more we do than just wrestle here, and it's more than just entertainment. So I would like to coin the term combat sports entertainment to describe what HKW is. Next, opportunities and success will derive from a ranking system, which is displayed on the stage screen. Ranking will determine who the contenders are and who can challenge who. There will be a 5-match grace period before the rankings go into effect. I advise the talent in the back to use the grace period strategically to position yourself for title contention. Now, I've been training and I plan to compete as well and work my way to the top. Talent has nothing to worry about because I will always be fair. My monologue is interrupted by one of the competitors who goes by Dangerous Man. He's also one half of the tag team Ultimate Danger alongside his partner Ultimate Nightmare. He seems to have a problem with me being the promoter and a competitor at the same time and asks me to make it make sense for him. I tell him that I don't like people rolling up on me, especially on premiere night, but I try to ease his concerns and tell him that's why the ranking system is in place. Dangerous then chuckles before asking me to explain how am I in the Contenders Mega Clash match later tonight. He accuses me of already taking the talent spot. Man, listen, I tell him we all breaking ground here. It doesn't matter what you've done elsewhere. I also tell him, to me, he was starting to sound scared. Dangerous replies that I must be on drugs if I think he's scared. In fact, he was looking forward to putting his paws on me and tossing me out the ring. He then promises to win the Mega Clash on his way to being HKW's first world champ. I let Dangerous know that's all fine and dandy and shared some advice. Interrupting me won't get him very far here at HKW. The Mega Clash will have 2 winners, the last man standing and the most dominant man, that being the competitor with the most eliminations. This goes for both men's and women's division. There will also be a Bizarro Land Contenders match. The winning pair will then face off next week for the tag team titles. Dangerous interrupts again, asking what kind of foolery nonsense is a Bizarro Land Contenders match, and why would a winning team face each other when they are partners? He tells me I'm out of my league. I tell him now, that's what happens when you interrupt. You ask dumb questions. I go on to say that in this type of match, rivals are partners. And for a title shot, they will have to work cohesively for the win. Once that match is over, everyone goes back to their respective teams and being rivals. The partner that doesn't compete in the clash will be eligible to compete. Once again, Dangerous interrupts to say that both he and Nightmare were both in the clash. I let him know that I am more than okay pulling him from the clash and swapping him for someone in the Bizarro Land match. Danger, visibly angry, said he's good. I said me too and tell the crowd to enjoy the show. After my promo, OG Pee Wee catches up with me backstage and lets me know he's not happy about not being booked for anything tonight. I tell him, listen OG, it's one night. I don't even know who is who yet. so I chose luck of the draw and reputation. And I still managed to book 76 competitors. Tonight just wasn't his night. OG says that was my first mistake. He tells me to keep it up and I'm gonna find out it really wasn't my night. Yeah, he's gonna be a problem. I went with Mega Clash matches as a way to see as much talent as possible, being that I haven't seen them before. This is going to give me a chance to analyze their presentation and in-ring performance in a high-stress environment. I'll be looking for my core competitors to push as the faces of HKW. This clash gets going with Kendall Rose at number 1 and Reina Reyes of the Frontliners at 2. Kendall strikes first, but it's Reina that quickly establishes her dominance with a powerbomb that changes the dynamic of this match. Reina keeps the pressure on with a variation of the camel clutch. The timer winds down to 0 and the next entry is Frontliners Jade Morgan. Reina eliminates Kendall without the help of Jade. Amanda Madison is up next to try her luck against the two Frontliners. I'm looking for big things out of her. Although she was able to get some of her stuff off, the numbers game was too much and ultimately she's eliminated by Jade Morgan. The Frontliners then go to work trying to eliminate the formidable giant Mary Perkins. This wasn't going to be an easy task, but the Frontliners were giving it their all. Though they do get her on the apron, she's able to fend them off and stay alive in the match. 8 competitors and only 1 elimination. Everyone's been very impressive. The action was non-stop. Calamity was now in the clash, ready to leave her mark. She goes hard after Jade Morgan. Do I sense something personal? Maybe. It looks it. But she don't hold back on Mavis either. Maybe it's just her style. Chang then makes her way into the match and finds a half-conscious Perkins leaning on the ropes and gets her first elimination. Calamity tries to get on the board but fails to do so and isn't able to eliminate Jade Morgan. Blasian starts to make her mark in the match, going after Mavis. She's interrupted by Calamity, who seems to be all over the place. She attacks Blasian with the same ferocity we've seen from her in this match. Gut punch after gut punch, she keeps laying them into Blasian. If this continues much longer, it might be over for the former indie sensation. But just as if on cue, Blasian's able to duck Calamity's attack and get on the offensive and ward off Calamity. Calamity finds another victim in Chang and begins to pounce. I got a strong feeling Calamity's not concerned about making friends. Only 3 competitors tossed so far, but the action has been great. And just like that, we get our 4th elimination and say goodnight to Jade Morgan. Chloe's on the board. Wow, Mavis gets her first elimination on Maria Angel. Chloe, still celebrating her elimination, gets caught off guard and tossed. Blasian gets her first elimination. The eliminations are coming fast now. It's a struggle, but Reina tosses the fiery Calamity and Mavis is able to get rid of Chang. Soon the ring is filled back up. The new crop of women are living up to the earlier action. They're all going for it. Angelica seems to be the early star of this batch. She's also got my attention. She was definitely leaving an impression. Reina, who has been in from the start, is also leaving an impression. Continues to show this is her night, powerbombs Becca. Another person to keep an eye on is Sakura. She too could be special. Surprised to see her without her face paint. I think she's another competitor that can help bring HKW to the next level. We'll see, I've been wrong before. But her ring savvy appears to be tops, bar none, something fans could appreciate. Reina, still at it, eliminates Becca. Then shockingly, Mavenly eliminates Blasian. Who saw that coming? The next to be eliminated is Megan Matrix, giving Taboo her first elimination of the night. Finally, Reina's long night comes to an end and is eliminated by Katrina Black. Mavis, a long shot to make the roster, is starting to leave her mark. She's getting the better of crowd favorite Angelina in their exchange. Another sleeper is Angela Ball, who takes advantage of Mavis's work on Angelina and eliminates her. She then goes after Sakura. Ball's combination of power and agility could give her the leg up on the competition. She has an impressive moveset that is second to none on the roster. Katrina Black, already with 1 elimination, works on leaving an impression by taking Nadia as her victim. Feisty Whitney is looking good in there too. So far, great action, and a close call for Mavis as Taboo is unable to get her second elimination. Remember, there are 2 winners, the most eliminations and the last standing. Taboo definitely realizes this and she gets her second elimination as we say goodbye to Toki. Mavis then surprisingly gets her 4th elimination by tossing Whitney, surpassing Reina for the most eliminations. But shortly after, it's Mavis who finds herself dangling right before being tossed by Gia, who takes too long admiring her work and gets herself eliminated by Katrina. Taboo also gets eliminated by Katrina, whose count is now up to 3. In a moment's notice, it's now Ball eliminating Katrina. Another shocker, Sakura is then sent home as Holly Sutton picks up her first elimination. This mega clash continues with unexpectedness as Nadia gets rid of the giant Gabby. She then adverts getting eliminated herself by Tiffany Storm. Then Chandler Carr comes in nice and fresh like a ball of energy and takes her turn on Nadia. Sutton then gets her second elimination, taking out Ball. Frankie Fox, a future star in my opinion, gets her first, eliminating Nadia. The current top elimination number is 4, and Chandler inches closer with her first elimination, sending Holly home. Down to the nitty gritty, and everything has changed with Lolo in the mix. There's no doubt she is definitely the favorite as she gets her first toss at the expense of Chandler. Tiffany Storm, working on Skylar, gets her first elimination over the frontliner leader, then almost gets tossed herself by Revenge. Shortly after, it's Lolo throwing Revenge over the top rope for her second elimination. Frankie Fox then suffers the same fate. Lolo picks up number 3 and tosses my favorite out of the ring, leaving only 2. Lolo quickly goes on the offensive, taking it hard to Storm, having no problems ragdolling her. Within seconds, Lolo finishes her dominating show by tossing Storm and not only being the last standing, but also tying the most eliminations with 4. Lolo will now face the person who tied her for the most eliminations, Mavis, to most people's surprise, for the women's world title. Good luck, Mavis. Ouch. The Bizarro Land Tag Team Contenders match is my next brainchild. How genius is it to put rivals on a team that, for a title shot, will need to work together and win? Choosing a partner is tricky. You want a partner that can help you win the Bizarro Land match, but not someone you won't be able to beat in the title match. The men's tag team division is looking stacked, and I'm getting familiar with these guys. This El Diablo guy is giving me Kane vibes, crazy powerful and spooky. Oh, that's Big Mac. He's the heavyweight of the trio's tag team Terrible Gentlemen, alongside Caleb Krug and Christian. And that's Ricardo of the Mendoza brothers, suspended upside down, getting dropped on his back in the thinnest of mats. We get our first pinfall attempt as Jace of Phil and Jace goes for the win over Cooper of the Modern Day Country Boys. Only a 1 count. Zach Ramirez then delivers a devastating pile driver to one half of the tag team Motherland's finest, Steve Storm. Ramirez goes for the pin but is broken up by Big Mac as he makes the diving save at the count of 2. It's been back and forth between Cooper and Jace. Cooper delivers 3 German suplexes and a stiff arm lariat to Jace. Nothing left to do but go for the pin after that. The ref counts gets to 2 and Jace musters up some inner strength and kicks out. Right next to them though, Ricardo covers Steve Storm. So close, but a 2 count is all he gets. It's now Jace getting the better of Ramirez, hitting a Poison Rana. Wow, great athleticism and execution. It's never a good thing to be planted on your head. But is it enough to get the 3? 1, 2, close but not quite. Man, Cooper is strong as fudge. Look how easily he deadlifts Ricardo and then power slams him on the outside ring floor. Big Mac's as vicious as he is strong. Look how he just tosses Zach out the ring, barely missing Cole Andrews of Cold Case. Andrews realized he needs to pick up the pace and starts pounding on Ricardo. Andrews looked like he was done, but then decided he wanted to send a message and goes back to beating on Ricardo. I gotta say, Jace has really been picking up the pinfall attempts. This guy gets it. He only gets a 1 count before Steve Storm breaks up the count with a kick to the head. Jace, always going for the win, gets Big Mac in a submission hold. Big Mac is able to break out even as El Diablo and Zach were on their way for the save. The action continued to rock. You could tell everyone is going all out to win this title shot. El Diablo lifts 400-pound Big Mac on his shoulders and then drops straight back. Jace could sense it took a lot out of El Diablo and tries to steal the pin, but only gets a 1 count. El Diablo then tries a submission, and that's all Big Mac could take tonight. El Diablo and Steve Storm are your winners, meaning Motherland's finest will go up against Lovecraft and Hate for the tag titles. From what I've seen, either team will make a great first champion. After the win, El Diablo lets Steve know that their partnership is over and that he's going to enjoy beating the Motherland's finest to become HKW's first tag team champions. Steve warns El Diablo about underestimating them. Bigger and Better have lost to him and Russell. And as a matter of fact, he loves his chances against Lovecraft and Hate. El Diablo says he's done talking and wants to send Steve home with a little taste of what's to come. Steve isn't backing down and dares El Diablo to do something. Psst, just like I thought, Steve says, and begins to walk away. With his back turned, El Diablo now decides to attack Storm with a clubbing blow to the chest that drops Steve. The punishment doesn't end there as El Diablo drops Storm's ribs over his knees repeatedly and then tosses him across the ring. He then finishes his assault with a vicious Alabama slammer into the turnbuckles. You can clearly see this sneak attack has Storm hurting and writhing in pain. El Diablo reminds Storm that this was only a taste. The HKW tag titles were gonna be his, and I think he might be right. Katrina bumps into Reyna Reyes backstage without her frontliner cohorts and decides to address their upcoming match. Great show out there, girl, and you didn't even need your little crew. I hope you can say the same for our match. Reyna replies that it's always a great showing when she's in the ring, with or without her crew. But in regards to them tonight, no promises. The next match is the Women's Bizarro Land Tag Team Contenders match, where once again, rivals team up for a chance to face each other in a title match. We've got Katie Hurst of Women of War teaming with Crisis's Jade. We've got Foreign Affairs Akira teaming with Valentine from Heart Condition. Then teaming with Ruth of the Wesley Sisters is Azra of Strong and Sexy. And finally, teaming with Savannah, who usually teams with Gabby, is Revenge of Bittersweet. This match gets going right away. As soon as the bell rings, all competitors find someone to tangle with. I see the powerhouses Katie and Azra going at it, as are Jade and Ruth. Akira catches Savannah with a rising knee and decides to go for an early pin. Why not, even though she was only able to get a 1 count? Katie is really giving it to Azra. Y'all see this girl? Nothing to play with. Now she's giving some of the same to Ruth. She's really a woman of war. Now Azra begins to get into her groove, beating on Revenge. Not trying to sound cliche, but the action is hot and heavy. Everyone is giving me a really good look at what they're capable of. And Akira keeps grabbing my attention. Look how she works over the larger Katie. Known more as a hard-hitting high flyer, Akira also has a sound technical ground game. She is trained by her partner and older sister Sakura. Gold is in their future. Now Katie's not only strong, she's agile. Look at that Spanish fly. With her strength, that just might do it. Katie covers Valentine. The count gets to 2.999 before Savannah breaks the count. The action is spilling out to the floor, leaving Revenge alone in the ring with Azra. Sensing opportunity, Azra quickly throws Revenge into the Azra armbar. Revenge tries to hold for the save, but no one notices until it's too late. Azra leans back and adds more pressure on the elbow joint. Revenge taps. It'll be the Wesley Sisters versus Strong and Sexy for the women's tag team title. Becca, trying to hold back her anger after she was tossed from the Mega Clash Contenders match and her sister Lolo won. You know, it's a shame that you weren't around to help me when I needed you tonight. At least you found a way to win without me. Becca lets Lolo know that she better wipe the floor with Mavis to become the first HKW Women's World Champion, even though she doesn't deserve it over her. But don't worry, baby girl, big sis Becca will take care of everything soon. The last match of our first episode of Breaking Ground is the Men's Mega Clash Contenders match. By the end of this match, we'll know which 2 competitors will be facing off next week to be the first HKW Men's World Champion. As this thing gets started, it's Caleb Cruz of the Terrible Gentleman who heads to the ring after drawing number 1. And to be honest, it don't look like it bothers him one bit to be starting out this match. Number 2 is an indie veteran favorite, Wolf. I brought him in as a mentor and for his experience. I'm sure he'll be a great asset backstage. Caleb couldn't care less who Wolf was and within seconds eliminated the veteran with a big boot. Caleb gets a short rest, but within no time the ring was full of potentially the future of HKW. Shockingly, it's King Tyson who's eliminated next, so early in the bout, as Dangerous and Rage toss the heavyweight over the top. After a strong start, it's Caleb that finds himself in trouble and is tossed by Slayer Dog. Rage then eliminates Cole Andrew. Everyone then starts getting it in and showing what they got. Some will become legends while others will go by the wayside, separating pretenders from contenders. Speaking of contenders, Dangerous seems to be motivated after our little back and forth earlier and is looking like a player. Look how easily he presses Percy over his head. Edwards also experiences his wrath. Danger uses his overpowering strength to manhandle Edwards. If you're sending me a message, I hear it loud and clear, my man. PDG gets Rage on the apron while Slayer Dog DDTs Edwards. PDG tosses Rage. Scott Storm brings it to Dangerous with a beautiful power slam and stays on him, displaying his MMA background. Percy, looking for elimination number 1, works to toss Jacob Case and eventually does. Knowing that a winner is also decided for the most elimination, Percy goes for his second on the battered Englishman. Percy delivers a crushing right hand that ends the night for Edwards. That's 2 for Percy. Feeling good, he looks for number 3. Unfortunately, he runs into a fresh twister who sends Percy home just as fast. Too bad. Once again, the ring fills up. Everyone knows a win here will do wonders for their HKW careers. Jacob sees Twister struggling to dump Christian, so he lends a helping hand and they both pick up half a toss. There's a lot of talent in that ring. Man, it's gonna be hard to round out the roster. Scott Storm, looking to get on board, works to get rid of Twister, but to no avail. Twister, back in the ring, gives Bossman a suplex and seems rejuvenated. A super kick damn near decapitates Bossman, but he avoids elimination. Twister stays on him and we can see Joe Rivera fighting his way out of a DDT from Jacob and Russell pounding on Revenant. Piles hits Storm with a big clothesline to pick up his first toss, while Revenant takes out Russell with a clothesline of his own. Twister in here putting on a show. Revenant picks up another elimination, brutally dumping Joe Rivera. Bossman, sensing Revenant is spent, tries to eliminate the big man. Revenant, with some fight still left, saves himself, but not for long as Twister is able to pick up the pieces and eliminate Revenant. That's 2.5 for him, giving Twister the lead for most dominant. Bossman then tosses AJ Reed. Twister, continuing to add to his count, gets rid of Piles. Goliath, my pick, eliminates his little brother Bossman with a vicious boot. Yeah, you heard right, they're brothers. Looking to take a commanding lead, Twister super kicks his way to toss number 4.5. He isn't done, and elimination 5.5 follows. Did I say 5.5? Now he's at 6.5 eliminations. Wow, what a showing. Now we got the two giants of HKW battling. Goliath strikes first, giving Sideburn Sam a giant super power bomb that almost breaks the ring in half. Moments later, a winded Goliath is eliminated by Sam. Evan also gets on the board. Twister continues to add to his total, getting his 7.5 elimination, then quickly follows it up with his 8.5 toss. I wasn't gonna let that be my fate. Oh, no. I saw an opening and I took it. I dragged his limp body to the ropes and got my first toss. Big Sam jumps right on me. He was looking for a power slam, but like I said, not my fate. At least not yet. This guy was massive and powerful. And yeah, I felt all of that. Headlock toss? Yep, felt all of that too. At this point, I'm just hoping for mercy and a quick ending. But he keeps working me over to my eventual benefit and his exhaustion. He should have dumped me when he had the chance. I think I got this. I know there's gonna be controversy with me in the final two, but hey, here I am. And you know what? I'm going for it. Sam can barely catch his breath. I go for the toss. He's on the apron, dazed. This is my chance, but I can't. If I win, there'll be a revolt, and I definitely don't need that. What to do? Regrettably, I let SBS back in the ring. This gives the big man the opening he needed to finish me off. He lays it into me a while longer for good measures, making me feel every single blow. Then he wins the first ever Mega Clash Contenders match by tossing me out the ring. It'll be Sideburn Sam against Twister for the HK Men's World title. See you next week, y'all.